You met someone new, different from the last one. You were sure of it this time. Different energy, different vibe. They pursued you. They were attentive. They made you feel seen in a way that felt almost overwhelming because you're not used to it. And then slowly, so slowly you almost missed it, they started pulling back. Less responsive, more distracted, present enough to keep you there, but never fully available, never fully in. And the maddening part, you cannot even point to it specifically. You feel it before you can name it. Your gut knows, your body knows, but then your mind steps in and starts negotiating. Maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe this is just how relationships are. That gap between what you feel and what you let yourself believe is where emotionally unavailable relationships live, right in the space between your intuition and your doubt. And you find yourself doing the thing you swore you would not do again, working harder, showing up more, wondering what you did wrong, trying to figure out the combination that unlocks the version of them that you saw in the beginning. Does that sound familiar? Here is what I need you to hear right now. This is not bad luck. This is not your type. And this is not some cruel joke the universe keeps playing on you. There is a specific psychological reason this pattern keeps repeating. And once you understand it, you will never look at your relationship history the same way again. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today we are going to talk about why emotionally unavailable people feel so magnetic and what is actually driving you toward them. Because the answer is not what most people think. Before we go any deeper, a quick note. Everything here is for educational purposes only. I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm not your therapist. If you're in crisis, please call or text 988. Okay, let's keep going. First, let's name what we are actually talking about. Because emotional unavailability does not always look like obvious coldness or cruelty. Sometimes it's much quieter than that, much easier to explain away. Here is what it actually looks like from the inside. They're inconsistent, hot and cold, fully present one day and distant the next, with no explanation you can make sense of. They struggle to talk about their feelings, theirs or yours. Emotional conversations either shut down immediately or turn into an argument about something else entirely. They're available for the fun parts, but absent for the hard parts. They show up for the good days and disappear when you actually need them. They keep a ceiling on the relationship, just enough intimacy to keep you invested, not enough to actually build something real. And here's the one that is the hardest to name. They make you feel like you're always auditioning, always one wrong move away from losing the warmth, always slightly uncertain about where you stand. That uncertainty is not accidental, and it's not about you. But here's the question worth asking. Why does that dynamic feel so familiar? Why does it pull you in instead of pushing you away? Emotionally unavailable people do not feel magnetic because something is wrong with you. They feel magnetic because something in your history taught you that love looks like this. Here is the clinical truth that changes everything. We do not attract what we want. We attract what feels familiar. Your nervous system has a template for love. It was built early, long before you had any conscious say in the matter. It was built from what you observed, what you experienced, and what you learned love looked like and felt like in your earliest relationships. And that template, however imperfect, is what your nervous system recognizes as home. This means if the love you experienced early was inconsistent, sometimes warm, sometimes withdrawn, your nervous system learned to associate love with uncertainty. If the love you experienced early required you to earn it, to perform, to achieve, to be the right version of yourself, your nervous system learned to associate love with effort and proving. If the love you experienced early was present in moments but never fully available, your nervous system learned to associate love with longing. None of this is your fault. You were a child absorbing the only model of love you had access to. But here is what matters now. When you meet someone emotionally unavailable, your nervous system does not sound an alarm, it sounds a recognition. This feels like love. This feels like home. This feels like the thing I have always been working toward. And that recognition is so powerful, it overrides everything you consciously know about what is good for you. This is not a character flaw, this is an attachment pattern. And attachment patterns can be understood, worked with, and changed. You're not broken for being drawn to what feels familiar. You're human. And the moment you understand your template is the moment you start rewriting it. So, what do you actually do with this information? Here are 3 concrete steps you can begin right now. 1. Learn to recognize availability as attractive. This sounds so simple, but it's not. If your nervous system has been trained to associate love with uncertainty and pursuit, genuine availability will feel boring at first, underwhelming, too easy. Someone who texts back consistently, shows up when they say they will, and makes you feel secure rather than anxious will not give you the same dopamine hit as someone who keeps you guessing. Your work is to recognize that feeling, that flat, underwhelming, where is the chase feeling, and understand it as a signal that you are in the presence of something healthy. Availability is not boring. Your nervous system just has not learned to find it exciting yet. That is a learned skill, and it starts with noticing. Step 2, get curious about your template. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to start asking the questions. Where did I first learn that love requires effort to earn? Where did I first experience inconsistency from someone I needed? What did I learn about my own worth from my earliest relationships? You don't have to go back and reprocess everything, but getting curious about your template, journaling about it, talking to a therapist, sitting with the questions honestly, begins to loosen its grip. Awareness does not immediately change behavior, but it is the prerequisite for everything else. Step 3, practice tolerating the discomfort of secure attachment. When you find yourself in a relationship or a potential relationship that feels stable, where the person is consistent, available, and genuinely interested, notice your urge to create distance, drama, or uncertainty. Notice the part of you that wants to test it, push it, see if they'll leave you like everyone else has. That urge is your nervous system trying to return to familiar territory. Your practice is to stay, to let the security feel uncomfortable without running from it, to give your nervous system the repeated experience of safety until safety starts to feel like home. This is slow work, and it's also the most important work you'll ever do. The relationship you were looking for is not going to feel like every relationship you've had before. It's going to feel different, quieter, steadier. Let that be enough. So I want to ask you something. When you think about the pattern we talked about today, does it resonate? And more importantly, which of these 3 steps feels most difficult for you right now? Tell me in the comments. You don't have to share everything, even one sentence, because naming the pattern out loud is one of the most powerful things you can do right now. And I read every single comment. If this gave you something real today, subscribe. Every Thursday, I show up with clinical truth delivered like your most honest friend. No fluff, no toxic positivity, just the real thing. And if you're ready to go deeper into understanding your relationship patterns, I have linked my Trauma Bond Recovery Workbook in the description. It's a clinical tool built specifically to help you understand what happened in your relationships and begin finding your way back to yourself. You deserve that clarity. I'll see you Thursday.